Hello, I'm Dennis Pullin. One of my favorite parts about being president and CEO of Virtua Health is getting to know our colleagues and the many ways they are here for good. Each person contributes to healthy communities, and each person has a story to tell. Well, ladies, welcome to Here for Good, the Inside Edition. Evana, let's start with you, doulas. Tell me what that's about, who it sort of supports. I don't think, or at least I'll speak for myself, until recently, I didn't really know what a doula actually did. So educate me real quick.
Doulas are trained professionals who educate, support, and provide care for pregnant families through their labor, their pregnancy, and their postpartum period.
What led you to this point? I mean, I'm sure there's something about your personal journey that helped you to arrive at where you are today.
I have 4 children. My first was born when I lived in the Middle East, and my next was born when I lived in New York and at a very large university hospital. And then my final 2 were born here, actually at Virtua. I had very hard pregnancies and even worse postpartums. And in my journey to care for myself and to heal for myself, I found this. I found the ability to help and support others helped me heal.
Sharlene, as an ICU nurse, I mean, you really understand healthcare, right? What drew you personally to want to take advantage of doula services?
So as an ICU nurse, our job is important on training the people we take care of on educating themselves about health, about what they're doing, how they can be participant in their care, and then also advocating for them. And with me being an ICU nurse, I was well aware of the maternal mortality rate, and I was scared myself. I was also pregnant during COVID.
Particularly of women of color.
Yes, especially women of color. And as a Black woman, I really wanted to read up on it because it was the first time I'm entering into a pregnancy. I knew nothing about it. And even though I was a nurse and I went through all the training, childbirth is honestly just something that scared me.
You were a novice at it and just
completely-
had no clue.
Definitely a novice. And so I was like, I need to get more information on this so I can feel more comfortable about going into this space. And I found a doula that was actually a childbirth educator. And my partner and I, we went through the classes so we could understand everything. And at the end of it, she kind of told us about how she offered doula services. And I didn't know anything about doulas then either. And what she pretty much kind of breached it to me as is that it was a service that somebody was there for me at 35 weeks and then on call 24/7, that was there for my delivery, that would be there for my postpartum. And it just sounded like it was support that I needed.
So this service was new to you
Absolutely.
as well.
Yes.
So how did your colleague here help you sort of navigate through, I would think was an exciting time, but equally as stressful
Yes.
of a time?
So I actually met Evana through the childbirth educator. So I had 2 doulas. My first doula was actually a breastfeeding mom, and I had a very long labor. So around the 40-hour mark, she had to go home to her child. So that's actually when Evana came in. And I met her before that just as this is our backup doula. We'll see if we need her, she'll come in for you. And I was still having a very long labor. My labor was 60 hours. So Evana came in around that 48-hour mark.
60 as in 60?
60. Yes. 60. I was very stubborn and I knew I was not going to get on anyone's table to have a C-section. Just knowing the rates and the maternal mortality, it was just something I was not okay with. And Evana came in and she really kind of helped foster a really cathartic moment. And I think it was the tension that I was feeling and being scared about delivering is what helped me to kind of relax and finally make it through that last moments and deliver my beautiful son.
Based on her description, it really does highlight the emotional support that a doula can provide and just helping a person through that entire experience. I know you also mentor and help coach other doulas. How do you help prepare them for these high stress situations?
I think honestly, a lot of it stems back to who they are as people, right? If we spend our time focusing on why you came to this work and how who you are in your own growth helps to support someone else, if you can step out of your own self and really step into that person in front of you, but using everything you brought with you, everything you carry, it never fails.
So you clearly become fairly close with many of the patients and their families, and you sort of maintain connections well beyond just the birthing experience. Can you share what some of those connections are like?
Oh, I mean, I've been to everything from recitals to holiday dinners. I got a couple of Thanksgiving invites this year and Christmas invites. They become family. This is not, I often say this is not a professional job. It's not. We spend too much time being close and comfy and personal in a way that oftentimes doesn't seem very professional, but that's what they need. They need somebody who can give them a hug that doesn't feel foreign, that doesn't feel odd.
So, Charlene, you talked a little bit about the labor experience and sort of leading up to that and the stress that was a part of that. What about beyond the labor experience? What about postpartum?
Yes.
You know, are the services equally as important in your postpartum?
I would say even more so. For myself, it's like even though I'm a nurse and I know what depression and anxiety looks like, I had a hard time recognizing that in myself. And I did have postpartum anxiety and depression. And with the doula services having the postpartum visits, Ivana was able to recognize that pretty quickly. She was like, "You're not seeming the same way. You're way more stressed." And then she just noticed that, you need a little bit of help and that's okay. And she kind of helped me to get out of my mind and my own barrier of seeking help.
So even though you were a professional, even though you were very familiar with the signs and symptoms, you couldn't see it
No,
in yourself.
I couldn't at all.
But having a relationship, having the trust and just that confidence that
Yes.
this person has on many occasions spoke on your behalf or sort of connected with you in order to help connect with some of your clinicians. Was that a difficult point to get to say, okay, maybe I do need some help and I'm going to be vulnerable enough to seek it out?
I think the difficult point was me being comfortable to actually voice it. I think so many of us, we sit with it and we don't want to say anything and we don't change anything. Having that relationship with the person that saw me before I delivered my son and that was there during the delivery of my son, I felt comfortable being able to have that conversation with her. And her being able to say like, "Hey, like there's nothing wrong with this. It's completely okay. Let's just go get some help." It was beneficial to me. I went and saw a therapist. I was diagnosed with postpartum anxiety and depression, and she helped me to reconfigure my mind so that I was able to come back to being Charlene and not just a mom, but Charlene. And I think that is so important as like having a doula is because she saw me as a person. She was my advocate. She was my educator. And I didn't have to be me the entire time. I didn't have to be a nurse. I didn't have to always have my clinician mind on. I was able to be a mom, a patient, and just let somebody else do that thinking for me.
You know, she sounds like a walking infomercial. I mean, she just basically laid out everything that needs to be laid out in support of the service that you
100%.
provide. So
Yeah.
you might want to record that and
No, I
then
say
use
this
that.
often. Yeah. She was at an event that we held here at Virtua for doulas, and she brought the house down. They'll remember that. They remember her speaking more than they remember any of the clinicians speaking.
Tell me a little more about the doula program here at Virtua. One, how robust is the program? But more importantly, how does an individual get connected with the doula if, like my good friend here decided she needed someone to support her? How does that happen?
The program currently has 9 community doulas. And currently how it works is providers or the patients themselves will reach out. They can find us on the Virtua website, or most of the providers now have RAC cards that have a QR code that the patients can scan, which directly connects them to me. They email me. They say, "I'm looking for a doula." I reach out to each and every single patient. I talk to all of them by phone, connect them with one of the 9 doulas or alternative services if one of the 9 doulas doesn't suit them, to make sure that they're sorted. I refuse to leave any patient without the support that they desire.
That's great. Charlene, were you aware of the services or how were you able to connect?
I actually met the childbirth educator because my sister actually used her for her pregnancy. And then she's the one that connected me with Evana. So I've seen Evana really grow this entire program from the startup. I mean, it's something I fully support. My partner also says that he would never have another delivery without a doula. So I know it made a big impact because he did not think it was necessary at first. So yeah, he's a full believer in it.
He's my bestie.
Yeah.
He's like,
I appreciate both of you sharing your very personal story, and I think it is important and it's impactful as well. But there is life outside of Virtua. There is life outside of what you do professionally, and I think oftentimes that can contribute to the joy that we bring to the jobs that we do. I'll start with you. What is it outside of work that you do for fun these days?
I tend to spend a lot of time in the studio these days, actually. I sing, so I've been spending time doing that again, which wasn't happening for a long time, so I'm enjoying that.
So you sing professionally? Is this just a hobby? Do we need a whole nother episode to highlight your vocal abilities?
It's professional, but I've been doing just backgrounds for a producer that I know, and so it's fun. And it's been a blast. I've been enjoying that. And then I tend to really been spending a lot of time with plays in the city. I'm loving the fact that I'm so close to Philly and I can see, a ton of different things on a regular basis. That and comedy shows are my go-to.
Yeah, this is a great environment for the arts and entertainment, and so I would think there are many opportunities. What about yourself, Sean?
Right now, I'm still trying to figure out what fun is. I'm finishing up my doctorate, and I have a 5-year-old. So a lot of my time, my downtime when I'm not studying is, just family time. It's, seeing what he's into and, going out to like places, maybe going to American Dream Mall, going to like California, just doing little trips. So I get my downtime when I can so I can get right
Drag
back
her
to
out.
studying. Yeah.
She comes outside.
She does make me come out, yes.
Having a 5-year-old
Yes.
tend to dictate a lot of
Yes.
what you do, I'm sure.
Mhm.
And then your commitment to finish your doctorate. That's a lot.
It is.
Plus what you're doing every day
Yeah.
to help others. Well, I really appreciate both of you sharing your stories. For me, it's been great because I have an opportunity to not only learn about our colleagues, but some of the services that we provide as well. I have 2 kids that are adults, but I will tell you, I knew nothing about doula services, however many years ago I had kids. So it's kind of nice to learn about the many wonderful things we do here virtually.
Yeah, maybe grandchildren,
On that note, I'm going to close this out and thank my 2 guests for joining me today. Tune in for another episode of Here for Good, the Inside Edition.